Welcome, racing fans, to Motorsports Radio, channel MR2, home of Motorsports Talk, and it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series we're talking about today. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing on Saturday in a wet Mid-Ohio challenge from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Justin Marks, the winner in the 42 Chevrolet. Justin Marks racing for Chip Ganassi Racing, and let's get right into it. Also, we're going to remind you about the truck race coming up on Wednesday night, since we won't be back here until Thursday, so we will let you know about that. So here we go. The Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and it was the Mid-Ohio Challenge. 75 laps. Pole sitter Sam Hornish Jr., the number 2 Chevrolet, started second. The pole sitter starting second. Owen Kelly in the number 18 Joe Gibbs Toyota, and Ryan Blaney starting in the number 22 Ford. He started in third. Sprint Cup drivers had the weekend off since there was no Sprint Cup racing last weekend. Okay, but now the 22 car, along with the number 3 car, the 93, 70, and the 39 had to start in the rear. So even though Ryan Blaney qualified to start in third, he would wind up starting in the rear due to unapproved body adjustments. Ty Dillon, David Starr, BJ McLeod, Ryan Siege, also Garrett Smithley, who drives the 0 car, Ray Black Jr. in the 07, all started in the back, and they started with a moment of silence for the late Brian Clausen, who passed away 2 Sundays ago. Really some sad stuff. Now, there was that basketball game, okay, which was Argentina and Brazil that went to double overtime, but that's all right, because we didn't miss much. That was a hot ticket. That was one of the hottest games. And of course, you had Brazil and Colombia on Saturday. I thought for sure that something was going to pop off at that game. The green flag drops at 3:42 p.m. Eastern Time. 3 set of racing slicks and 2 set of Goodyear wet tires, 5 sets altogether. And so now you have the 2, the 18, and the 19 in front at the drop of the green flag. So Sam Hornish Jr., Owen Kelly, and Daniel Suarez. Now, the threat of rain was a factor on Saturday. The race halfway mark would be like lap 37 and a half. Okay, but they got through it. They got through it. It was a sluggish race at first, but the first question would come out very early in this race. Lap 2, actually, that early, for rain. This was going to be an interesting day on Saturday. NASCAR determined track conditions to be damp. And now, if teams wish to do so, they were allowed to opt for wet tires. So damp conditions, wipers and defoggers in use on Saturday. Pit road opens up at lap 4. They finally get back to green. Sam Hornish Jr., Owen Kelly, and Elliott Sadler now round out the top 3, the 2, 18, and the 1. A bunch of penalties. We had Ray Black Jr. in 07 who spins, and then Tim Cohen, the 13, spins, both on the track under caution. Ryan Ellis was the one penalized, driving for the number 25 team, pitting too soon and too many crew member over the wall. So he got a double shot right there. Also, and so we get a rarity in NASCAR, and that is racing in the rain. And oh man, a splash Saturday at Mid-Ohio. Splishing, splashing, and spinning. The 18 spins. Owen Kelly spins at turn 6. No caution, stays green. Kelly did have the lead briefly, but Hornish Jr., he takes the lead right back. Owen Kelly would wind up dropping down to 14th. Justin Marks would move up to 2nd. Top 3, lap 10, Sam Hornish Jr., Justin Marks, and Brendan Gowen. A whole bunch of cars were spinning. So now, question number 2 would come out lap 13. What happened was the cars were just getting loose, and one of the cars, the 97 of TJ Bell, spins and gets loose and gets stuck in the kitty litter, as we call the gravel. And this will bring out the question number 2, lap 13. And then now out of this restart, you have Justin Marks, which would wind up winning on Saturday. Sam Hornish Jr. 2nd, and Andy Lally in 3rd, who was driving the number 90 car. Andy Lally, who is actually an Israeli national and is trying to get a full-time gig in NASCAR. You have Bubba Wallace in 4th and Brandon Golan in 5th. Wallace Jr. climbs up to 3rd. A bunch of cars spinning off this restart, including Sam Hornish Jr., who was running 2nd. He would want to drop it down to 5th. Wallace Jr. up to 2nd, and Brandon Golan, he would creep up back into 5th. Sam Hornish Jr. not having a good day. Hornish Jr. spins into the gravel. This would bring out the 3rd caution of the day, so that would be around lap 20. Okay, and then now restart lap 24. 74 of Roger Roos. Okay, and this is what's cool about the Xfinity Series. You get a bunch of names that you hardly ever hear of. Roger Roos. That's Xfinity Series. People that don't race all the time in NASCAR. The rookies that are trying to work their way into Sprint Cup, and they race along the Sprint Cup with the Sprint Cup drivers. That's what makes Xfinity Series pretty fun. But he was driving the 74 Dodge. Usually Mike Harmon usually drives that car. No question in this one. Lap 25 would start the last 50. Now, the 77 car, Jordan Anderson, he would go into the sand. He was driving the 77 car. And then, who else? There was a whole bunch of spinning. Jordan Anderson backs out successfully. However, so he gets into the sand, backs out, almost gets clipped by the 42 car, Justin Marks, who was still the race leader at this time. However, Darrell Wallace Jr. would take the lead lap 28 and maintain the lead until he goes into the sand, also in lap 28. So Darrell Wallace Jr. he gets out, but he gets contacted by somebody. I don't know who it was, and he wants up into the sand a second time, right? So the 42, the 90, and the 40 top 3: Justin Marks, Andy Lally, and Alan Day. Alan Day is the guy from Israel. I got that mixed up. Yeah, Alan Daly driving the 40 car. That is a correction. He's the guy that's trying to get the full-time gig with NASCAR. But then Daniels. Now, I'll be honest with you. It was a boring race. Now, if you want to know why they don't race in the rain, normally this is why. Now, obviously it's a road course, and so they don't really go that fast anyway. But now, see, this upcoming weekend, we have some fun racing coming up this weekend, and I'm very pumped because they're going to one of my favorite tracks, and that's going to be Bristol. It all starts on Wednesday afternoon. So, now, question 4, lap 28. This was Daniel Suarez. He spins. This would bring out the fourth caution, lap 28. Now, they restart lap 32. Caution 5 comes out lap 32, and this is a bunch of cars who got started with Eric Jones and Andy Lally. They get to where this car starts spinning. So they come up with the restart. Justin Marks still in the lead coming out of this restart, but then Ryan Blaney and Ryan Reed, 2nd and 3rd. So that'll be the 42, the 22, and the 16. Track started to dry, so some drivers have switched to the slicks. Now, again, no Sprint Cup drivers this past weekend. Sprint Cup drivers had the weekend off. Even though the track was still a little wet, it was drying, and the race finally picks up. Some momentum finally. Some speed after a sluggish start. Lap 41 would bring a round of green flag pit stops. Darrell Wallace Jr. first to come into pit. Tire changes for most of the drivers as the track drying continues. Owen Kelly and Elliott Sadler, they get popped for speeding on pit road, which means they would have to serve a pass-through. Andy Lally in the number 90 takes the lead, still under green flag pit stops. Justin Marks in 2nd, Ty Dillon in 4th. Now, the Motorsports Radio top 5, lap 45. Andy Lally, Ty Dillon, Justin Marks, Ryan Blaney, and Darrell Wallace Jr. The 93 to 42, 22, and the 6. Now, 37 and a half was the halfway mark, so we're just, over the race halfway mark. And now, these cars spent most of the time, I think it was like every 5 minutes there was a car going out into the grass, into the dirt. So it's like, all right. Fight for second between Justin Marks and Ryan Blaney. Blaney gets by, bringing the double 2 to the number 2 position. They were fighting for second. And hold on, Ty Dillon now in the lead, who is the brother of Austin Dillon. Now, Austin Dillon, as we all know, drives the number 3 in the Sprint Cup Series. Ty Dillon drives the 3 with the Xfinity Series. Usually, if Austin Dillon's racing the Xfinity Series, he drives the number 2. So Ty Dillon in the lead. Justin Marks in 2nd, and Ryan Blaney in 3rd. 3, 42, and 22. A fight for a first now between Ryan Blaney and Ty Dillon. Blaney now brings the 22 to the front of the field. Now the new leader, the 22-3 and the 6, Blaney, Dillon, and Bubba Wallace. All right. So, and the question was who was going to drive into Victory Lane in Lexington, Ohio, at the Mid-Ohio Sports Course. Lap 49, question number 6. This one's for debris, which was at turn 8. Okay, they get into the restart eventually. So now they changed the tires back to the slicks because they're starting to dry, but then the rain started coming back again, and the race ended the same way it started, slow and wet. I wrote down wild and wet, or wet and wild, but it wasn't. It was wet, but it definitely wasn't wild. So everyone pits prior to the restart to change those tires again as the rain now kicks in, and so restart will be lap 55, which would be start of the last 20. Owen Kelly, Ryan Blaney, Justin Marks in the top 3. Ty Dillon drops down to 4th. And then you have Sam Hornish Jr., the pole sitter, in 5th. A bunch of cars got loose off this restart, no caution. But then Sam Hornish Jr., then a bunch of cars get together. This brings out caution number 7, lap 56. The 16 spins, and then the chain reaction. 16, Ryan Reed. Ryan Priest got a little bit. He's in the 0-1, and the 44, J.J. Ellie. Also the double 8. And Justin Marks, who was the leader, but he came back. He came out of this all right because again he wound up running this race. So to get into back to green with Darrell Wallace in the front now, Justin Allgaier second, and then Andy Lally in third. So now you got the 6. And Eric Jones, the 3, the 42, 2, 90, and the 20. And oh man, then Ty Dillon gets loose. This allows Justin Marks to take the lead, lap 65. Ty Dillon will drop down to second. And then TJ Bell, the 97, again spins, goes into the tire barrier, trying to get the 97 to refire. They didn't get they didn't go right crashing. They were not going fast, so they really just bumped it, right? So they didn't bring out that caution. And then we get to lap 70, which finally gets to the last 5 laps. Still Justin Marks, Ty Dillon, Sam Hornish Jr., the top 3, now 42-3, and the 2. And then we finally get caution number 8, lap 70. And this is for TJ Bell again into the tire barrier. This caution does come out. Caution 8 ties the most number of cautions at Mid-Ohio. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, history is in the making. Maybe it's probably the most exciting thing of the whole day. Restart laps. But see, I gotta watch the races because I gotta take notes to do radio shows. And once in a while you get one, it's like, when is this thing gonna end? But now we're getting back to the oval, so which where you get your really good racing at. Restart 42-3 and the 2, top 3. Okay, still in front with 2 to go. Justin Marks, Sam Hornish Jr. now climbs to second. Ty Dillon down to third. So now it's the 42-2 and the 3. Ryan Blaney up to third. So now you got the 42-2 and the 22. And oh man, wet and wild on the last 2 long laps. Finally to the start-finish line with the white flag in the air at lap 74. 42-2 and the 22 still in the top 3. And here the field comes now through the final turn, which is turn number 13. Justin Marks on his way to the finish to become the winner of the Mid-Ohio Challenge. The pole sitter Sam Hornish Jr. will finish second. Ryan Blaney finishes third. Ty Dillon finishes fourth. And Justin Allgaier finishes 5th. 42, 2, 3, 22, and the 7. All right. Now, we're going to have full results coming up in a little bit on channel MR5. And then, and also, I'm going to tell you what's going on with the trucks, okay? First off, let's see. Motorsports Radio race info. So there was 8 leaders, 13 lead changes, top speed 93.28 miles per hour. See, that's what I'm saying. 93. Right. Fastest lap time was 87.144 seconds. Number of cautions is 8. Yellow flag laps is 32. Race time 38 hours, 16 minutes flat for 75 laps. Next NASCAR Xfinity Series race is this Friday night from Bristol. All right, so here's what we got going on here at Motorsports Radio. Okay, so first off, let me tell you what's going on with the truck race this Wednesday. Now, we got